Alright. It's ASTREA in the top left side of the map, looking like a beast recently. But he's got a tough match in front of him, a player who normally has his number, Vitality Gaming Solar. Now, for those who don't know, Solar tends to have a 3-1 all-time record in series against ASTREA. But they've played a lot of times, and that's like something like 30 wins for Solar, 10 for ASTREA. ASTREA's won the last 2 times they've played in best of 3s, 2-0 and 2-1 though, which is pretty good for him. Those were both about 4 or 5 months ago, so it's a while back, but definitely relevant as their most recent matches. Problem for ASTREA, 2 times before that they played were both 3-0s in best of 5s for Solar over ASTREA. So kind of rough in the longer series, but this is only a best of 3. I think we're in the quarterfinals now of ESL Weekly NA 229. And it's going to be an exciting one. I was explaining to the Twitch chat before I got into cast this game, as we are casting it live, as we do every Tuesday, my time. That's Asia Pacific time, North American and European evening time on the Monday night. So anyways, basically, I was explaining, ASTREA fancy, but fragile. He's greedy, he tries to get hard reads on his opponent, sometimes misses little things in terms of multitasking or having enough vision everywhere. But he's so fancy with like his technical builds, his very fancy pressure and harassment. He's just a clever, tricky player. So I really think he's a ballet dancer. He's pirouetting on the stage. He's trying to do fancy, spinny stuff. And Solar's basically a man with a brick chasing him around, trying to smash the brick into his face. And if ASTREA manages to dodge and weave and fight just right, kind of think of him as like Arya Stark with Needle, trying to dance around people and poke them and stuff because she's so tiny and weak, right? She's got to be fast and agile. But in a real life situation, more often than not, that small, fast person, as effective as they can be, they do die from a single punch. And in this case, a single brick to the face has killed ASTREA many times before. Solar is very likely to go Roach Queen, Ravager, in some form, maxed out push, a big surprising counterattack whenever ASTREA overextends. And it's going to be a hard balancing act for ASTREA to like apply pressure without overcommitting. Now, so far, he hasn't really done any damage, has he? He's got the Oracle out. The third Nexus goes down nice and quickly. And he is probing up pretty nicely. Yeah, Oracle's going to go to the high ground, allows the Stalker to see this. Now, I don't think you kill that unless you run the Stalker out of your base. So he's going to have to run down there, which means the Zergs can intercept the Stalker. So you got to leave the Adept in the wall, and the Oracle has to guard the Stalker. But this forces the Oracle to turn its laser beam on, which is always going to be good for you as the Zerg. Now, yeah, you only lose 2 Lings. And the Overlord, if he goes straight left or down and left, he might actually escape. If he escapes with the Overlord, that's a sick move. But I think he's clicked it in the wrong spot. If he clicked down to the left, I think he would have escaped. But yeah, Solar messed that up. Very clever idea. Slight misexecution mistake there for Solar. Cost him the Overlord. Nonetheless, he's wasted a lot of Oracle time. Losing an Overlord is not a big deal in this early game. It would have simply been a bonus if he managed to save that. So Solar fails at getting his bonus reward. Is that really a fail? Well, no, it's just a missed opportunity is all. Lings going across the map, 7 Zerglings out, 14 now, more coming out behind it. There are 2 Adepts in a good position. ASTREA with this very fragile wall-off did get punished in one of his earlier games today by a surprise Banelings blowing that up, but that is, of course, a pretty rare thing to happen. Oracles should probably be coming home. Yeah, when you see this many Lings on the map, you probably want to be careful. The thing is, Solar's actually even or ahead on workers. So actually, as that battery comes up, I think you want to continue harassing. You've only played 2 Oracles. I think you want to try and get a bit more damage here. Now, to be fair, there are 7 Queens and 3 Spores. So that's about as safe as you can play as Solar. You don't need to kill drones. If a Zerg builds this much anti-air, if a Zerg builds like 4 Queens and 1 Spore Crawler, you should be killing dozens of drones. But if they build 7 Queens, 3 Spores, just think about the raw mineral value of that. That's 1,050 minerals for 7 Queens. And it's at least 3 or 4 extra than they need if there's no Oracle out, right? And then you've got the Spores. Each Spore is a dead drone, plus another 75 minerals. So it's about 7.5 drones that a Zerg kind of kills or removes from their opportunity cost by building those Spore Crawlers, not even counting the Queen. So you got to realize this is an okay situation for ASTREA. It's a very even game so far. He's going to do a very light 4-gate blink pressure, and this is just to kind of force Solar to build army, not be too greedy, scare him a little bit, while he should be taking a 4th base behind this, and indeed he is. So 4-gate into a 4th, +1's on the way. Blink is now done. The Adepts do go down. Good micro so far. He's getting some pickoffs as well. just a fragile position if you get flanked, and that's exactly what Solar's going to try to go for. Catches these Stalkers that are rallying in there. That Overlord does go down. These Stalkers will pull back to the Stasis Trap. Good blink back so far by ASTREA. Gets himself a Roach as well. And I wouldn't mind him just chilling and backing away. You're only on 4 gates. It's not a lot of production. And I gotta wonder, where's his Robo? Is he playing Mass Gate? It looks like he might be playing the old Mass Gate style. Full gateway man, in which case, where are his gateways? Maybe a second forge and a bunch of gateways coming up soon. Hydrogen and Infestation Bidder on the way, showing Solar wants to play up to Lurker and Hive Tech. And I think that was the first Stalker that went down just then. So first slight mistake for him, but overall, great trading for ASTREA. He's also built a worker advantage. Just stopping Solar from rushing up to the gases on this 4th base and droning that is so effective as a Protoss. Stalkers are defending the Zerglings. It feels like Solar... Yeah, I thought he might be a bit more explosive in this game, but hasn't been able to be just yet. Maybe some Ling Run buys on the 3rd or something would have been a difference maker. Stalker's denying creep really well as well. These Stasis Traps, I would have loved to see Solar split off some Lings and Roaches to set off those Stasis Traps while the Stalkers were on the south, but Solar's not doing a lot to kind of reclaim his territory. I don't think this puts him in a worrying position. It seems to me like he's missing some small opportunities, and he's letting ASTREA kind of have his way with him, which you got to be wary. Yes, we think of ASTREA as not all that fast, and he's kind of fragile. Like, he'll be controlling the game like this, and then bam, one big surprise attack just rolls over him and kills him because his micro and multitasking isn't quite as good, and he kind of gets a bit greedy and gets surprised sometimes. But guys, look at this. He just lost his 2nd Stalker. He just kills another Roach. He's killed 4 Roaches, 41 Zerglings. I mean, the trading is great. He's also up to 8 gateways now. Charge plus 2's on the way. His 2nd Forge is finished. He's building more Oracles. I'd love to see him make +1 armor. Double Chrono. Beautiful play. 4th base is full. He's starting a 5th base. Oh yeah, he's playing this very greedy Zerg style. Has a pylon up there already as well, so he can warp in Zealots reactively, assuming he has any warp-ins available. More Roaches and Hydras getting picked off. Hive's still a little while away. Over at that base, there's a cannon ready to greet those Zerglings. You never feel good about this as the Zerg player, and this is not Hero Man. He does not leave his door open. The Zealots should be able to defend that, but actually without charge, they're kind of slow. That Stalker may go down. On the other side, Queen has fallen there. Stalker's going very far forward, but he retreats nicely. The Stasis Trap's looking good. Keeps that Red Hit Point Stalker alive. This Red Hit Point Stalker alive as well. Dude, 3-1 trading so far. Yeah, it's only small skirmishes. These aren't game-deciding fights, but you can really see things inching in the direction of ASTREA as he goes up to 12 gateways and a Robo behind this. His upgrade's slowly starting to outscale as his +2 does kick in a few seconds. Lurkers are morphing though, and he's still on Mass Gateway, man. So, I mean, Solar's on 4 base. He's on 88 drones. Oh, ASTREA with a lazy move there, and that is going to cost him big time. He's trying to kill... Oh, he's trying to kill Solar, but the Lurkers are already here. He was trying to do a pre-Lurker timing, but this Ling Run bite is ruining him. Oh, no. The Mass Zealot attack could do well in the north, though. Spines aren't up yet. Zealots are trying to warp, and he loses 10-11 probes at a crucial moment. To be fair, if this attack does well, it's okay for him. The Zealots are getting swarmed by the Zergling Roach Hydra. The Stalkers need to kill that hatchery. If he blinks in, he could kill the hatchery out of range of the Lurkers for the most part. He's got it's a big commitment. Oh, he catches 3 Lurkers. That's huge. Getting 3 Lurkers, picking off drones is big. The Zealots are going to go back in on that north side as well. He's going 2nd Robo Bay. I was talking to ASTREA about Disruptors. Now you need them against Lurkers, and he kind of disagreed with me a few months ago when we talked about that. I had a big discussion with him about it, and he was like, seems like he's trying to go Disruptors now, and I think he has to. And I think he just doesn't have a choice in this scenario. You don't want to go a lot. Just get 2, 3, maybe 4 Disruptors out, and then go into Immortals and like the better units. That's the way you do it. But Disruptors are such a powerful unit, especially when you're keeping the Zerg on the back foot like this. They don't have Vipers. Look at how smart this rotation is, because the Lurkers never defend the natural, right? They're always on the edge bases. You don't go sit Lurkers in your natural and your main. So the Zealots running in here can actually find some excellent damage, really distracting him very nicely. Gets himself another Lurker in the front as well. Good multi-prong. He's going to take out the Lurker den here. Seismic Spines did not get made. Oh, that's huge. That is huge. He might not be killing that many drones, but he's really making Solar kind of chase his own tail around, and the Zealots are going to start to do some good damage. That Spine Crawler, though, what a heroic Spine Crawler. Tanks a lot of damage. Otherwise, they would have been attacking drones that whole time. You can see how quickly the drones fall when they're actually getting attacked, but only 3 workers go down. Oh, the Oracle Stalker tag gets himself a Lurker. Great play. First Disruptors are on the way. 3rd Robo and a Templar Archives. Zealots in the north do get cleaned up, though, and it's Solar's turn to say, okay, you kept me on 4 base for a long time, but I bet you can't defend this, boy. And you know what? I think he's right. I think if those Robos go down, you're screwed. Robos are out front. Oh, this is why you don't put your Robos out front, your base guys. Put them in your main and your natural. Robos out front in the base is so vulnerable, especially if you put them all in the same position. 2/3 of his robo production's gone. I wholeheartedly believe if he had the robos in the natural, he'd be okay. He'd lose this base, recall the probes to the bottom one, and he'd be fine. You know, but as it is, those robos going down is a bit of a problem for ASTREA. And robos are one of the most vulnerable tech structures, and it's also the only thing keeping you alive. He now rebuilds them in the natural, but I think it's too late because he lost all of his disruptors. I don't think he can fight back when he's this far down in army supply. He needed the asymmetry of the disruptors being so good against this army comp to kind of buy him time, allow him to protect his 5-base economy, take a 6th base while keeping Solar on just a few bases. And don't get me wrong, this is a good counterattack for ASTREA, but I just don't think he has the follow-through behind it. Well, he could click the hatchery here. Could be pretty good. He's killing a lot of Overlords, Hydras, Roaches. Stalkers will take that. If he can catch some of these drones on the way out as well, maybe he can do pretty well. His upgrades are much better. +3 attack, +2 armor. Very good upgrades. Stalkers take out a Lurker before blinking away. The drones did get out of there. Good play by Solar. Stalkers coming in on both sides. I love the way he does this. Oh, he gets himself a few Lurkers. This is huge. Big ambush. He gets himself 5 Lurkers there, or 4. One of them escaped. Gets himself a Hydra as well. Overlord does go down. Stalkers in the middle of the map. Oracles do tag them. Dude, he's doing a great job with the movement. This is not really ASTREA's specialty, like I said, multitasking, but he's actually doing a great job with this kind of, you know, mowing the lawn, kind of going around and trying to sweep everything up a little bit. He definitely needs a 5th base, though. Needs to rebuild that 5th. He's trying to make Storm immortal right now rather than Disruptors. As I said, a few Disruptors is amazing for, like, holding off those first pushes and just picking at them. But Immortal Storm is always the goal. It's the better comp in the long run. Always. Zealots warping in there. He's keeping Solar pinned. Solar's trying to retake gas in the north, but Solar's economy is screwed. And the fact that Solar's stuck on the defense, I really feel losing those 4 or 5 Lurkers here was crucial. And I actually think ASTREA, if he double expands right now, I think he's winning this game. It's only if he feels like he's kind of got to go all in that he might be screwed. But you see, Zergling sees no base up here. Solar's kind of like, you don't actually have that many bases. Where is that Nexus, though, guys? I feel like ASTREA's kind of, his heart rate's a bit too high. You can kind of see that he's so focused on attacking here, but Solar's pulled into a turtling stance. You do not need to blink in the main. That's it. That's getting way too fancy. See, this is just unnecessary fancy maneuvers when there's basic fundamentals like Nexus being built that he's ignoring. So that's unfortunate. It tells me that, yeah, okay, you got a queen, you picked off some creep. I mean, this is cute. Is this the important thing for your APM to be doing right now? I would argue no, it is not. He does blink back out of the main, which is good. He could cancel that hatchery there, which would be nice. He's going to try and bring these units up. Oracles are there. He doesn't have any Storm, though. Where's his Storm? He never warped in High Templar? He never warped in High Templar. That is a problem. He's trying to bring his army forward to intercept the reinforcement, threaten the kind of counterattack here to punish the Lurker Hydra immobility. Clever move. Dude, very clever move for ASTREA, but he needs those High Templar. He's warped them in at home. He's making more. He needs to get this army out. The stasis traps is huge. Yep, just run away. Send the Zealots in. They're a sacrifice. Clean up these Lurkers and get out of here. Get out of here with your valuable units. Kill a hatchery short. Is this a great trade with the Zealots? No, but you're buying time to make Immortal Storm. He still doesn't have a new 5th base up, though. That's the problem I'm seeing for ASTREA. If he had those 2 next side building in the top, this would be a bit of a different story. As it is, both sides are getting crippled. Both sides. Solar is doing such a good job of being patient. He's looking for the right fights. Problem is his upgrades suck. Only +2 range, no carapace, which means even Zealots with +3 are going to shred Roaches, Hydras, and Lurkers if they can get the surface area and get on top and deal that damage. ASTREA's income just got rocked, though. He's only now rebuilding a Nexus in the north. He's going to dive on this top base. But as I said, he feels kind of all in here. He's going to take out those Lurkers, though. The Immortal's doing really well. These Immortals come down. Oh, we need Storms. Oh, big Storms. The Storm Immortal actually going to clean this whole army up pretty well. He's only got Revelation on 1 of the Lurkers, though, and he might lose some High Templar if he's not careful. 1 High Templar does go down. Looks like that top army went down after killing the hatchery. Right now, Solar's income very low. So is ASTREA's. ASTREA's on 46 probes. Solar's on 62. It's neck and neck, but both players are very poor right now. There is a bit more gas income, I would say, for ASTREA. To make those High Templar, you don't want to lose these Oracles. He loses 1 of them, but he's still got 4. Great value there. Stalkers will take out a Hydra. That northern base is going to go down. He accidentally morphed. Oh, he morphed a High Templars into an Archon. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. Oracles are here. He's got High Templar and Immortal Archon on both sides, but no Storms. If he had some Storms, I think he'd win this fight. Without Storm, ASTREA doesn't quite have the numbers. That Lurker harass in the bottom, God tier. Going to take out a lot of the probes there. I think Solar's got this in the bag now. Breaking that army, breaking that new expansion. Beautiful play by Solar. I mean, ASTREA's done such a good job with his mobility and his counterattacks, but Yeah, those robos being out front into not re-expanding, those were, I think, his two crucial mistakes this game. You guys could argue I'm wrong. Hats off to Solar, though, for being so patient and decisive. This looked like one of his Zerg vs. Terran games, where the other guy's just all over him, start to finish. It kind of looks like Solar's losing, but if you keep checking it on the numbers, he's always got a big army. He's always, like, trading pretty well as well. And you're actually like, is he actually losing this game? You know, his map control sucks, his economy gets whittled down, but then he has a giant army, and whether you can deal with it or not is obviously often the deal breaker for his opponents. Mortal Archon tries to move down, takes out a few Lurkers, but a great pullback by Solar to try and escape from this scenario. The Stalkers are going to help him out with the mobility. The Observer there, he does take out those Lurkers. Roach is trying to flank as well. A few Stalkers do go down, but the Roaches will fall. And, you know, ASTREA's taken some pretty good fights. But income-wise, look at this. ASTREA has no income now. He's just got a little bit of minerals there. That Lurk is still harassing. A few Roaches and Hydra's going to counterattack. And can you really break Solar at home right now? Because this is an all-in now. 2 Archons, 3 Stalkers, 4 Immortals, and 1 Probe. Let's go, says ASTREA. He's just going to go for it. And you know what? There's no Lurkers right now. 2 of them do finish and try to burrow in the middle of combat. The Immortals going after those and do take them out pretty darn quickly. But the Immortals are starting to fall. 2 Immortals go down. The Archons have already gone down. That Lurker does go down. Probes are being pulled, but that's a sure sign of desperation. The last Immortal goes down. The Stalkers, dude, absolute veterans. That last one with 11 kills is going to fall, and Solar hangs on in a clutch game 1. All right, guys. We've got game 2, ASTREA in the top right side of the map. Solar in the bottom left as well. The supply tells the tale in that last game. Wasn't even close. It was actually quite close, but you got to realize Solar's supply advantage was mostly in drones. And when you don't want to look at supply, you want to look at army supply, and you want to look at income. The income is what mattered there. The fact that his workers had places to mine from and ASTREA's didn't, so it wasn't actually the supply at all. I would argue. I would make a very strong statement that it wasn't the supply in that last game, chat. It was all about the income level combined with the army supply. The fact that the army supply of Solar got, I think, a little ahead at the end and was obviously replenishing so quickly due to the income advantage, whereas ASTREA couldn't reinforce at all. You just needed to, like, combine the knowledge of Solar's income with the fact that ASTREA had no reinforcements. And you go, okay, ASTREA's got no reinforcements, starting the fight with, like, similar army supply, and obviously, over time, that's going to get worse for him. So, oh my gosh. Gold first for Solar. Sorry, guys. We've got the scoreboard the wrong way around. Let me fix that. The gold first, and it's a reactive cannon rush here for ASTREA, which is just going to force Solar to lose the hatchery, I think, and then he's going to... do the drones see this in time? I don't think so. I don't think he sees this until... Actually, if the drones get there early enough to cancel the hatchery, I think it's much better for Solar because he can save some money. Then again, ASTREA can just cancel cannons in that scenario. So he starts a single cannon. If the hatchery finishes, he'll start a second one. Okay. And he can just cancel. Cancel both. He's like, yeah, you canceled the hatch. No worries. I'll cancel my cannons and build a Nexus. It's fine. So Solar now has to re-expand. And it's slower than the Nexus, right? Normally Nexus goes down a minute 25, hatchery at about 48 seconds. So this is already like, okay, these two timings are much closer than normal. Yeah, you built a forge you don't need yet, but you can still use that later for upgrades. So this is a fantastic opening for ASTREA. Very clever. Don't get me wrong. So someone was saying before, ASTREA is on the decline. I wish it wasn't true, but I think it is. I would say he had a peak in 2022, late 2022, kind of burnt out a little before Katowice 2023, didn't have a great performance there. And I don't think he's quite reclaimed that level since that burst of play that he was on then. But I think the fact that he had Trigger overtraining with him at his place in, in San Diego and stuff, this sort of stuff, I still think ASTREA can absolutely climb back. But it's also because, he's been a bit more American-based than Korean-based recently. And I do think ASTREA really levels up when he's in Korea, just living and breathing the game. But he's still very good. I would say, like, right now, I don't see his level going down, right? I think he's still easily top 2. I mean, he's in NA. He still is the champion right now, even though it was a bit of a clutch sort of comeback scenario to win that championship, that regionals. It still counts. Being number 1 in NA is no small feat. You got to beat Scarlet. You got to beat Trigger. Bunch of other players are all chipping away at you, trying to surprise you, like Future and the like. Oh, we're going to commit. Adepts are going in, guys. These two Adepts finding decent damage. A drone goes down, a Zergling wastes mining time and recalls. Takes almost no damage on them. I mean, that's excellent. That's excellent. And there is an Oracle coming in. Is it the fastest Oracle of all time? No, but I mean, it's not like the Zerg's got a ton of queens or anything either, right? So the timings are still going to work out quite well. Third Nexus down very early. ASTREA's very good at taking these things quick. As the pylon's taking damage, you got to realize, oh god, I need 2 pylons right now. So he builds 1 pylon in the main and another pylon in the third to create a little bit of a choke point there would be excellent. I think this choke point's even better though, because the Lings would have to go around that side to wrap around, which is a very awkward path. And the Adepts there, they've got the shade to the safety spot. So yeah, I like that. You've got like one area and then a backup choke point. ASTREA is very technical with his Adept placement lately, and that's really good. This is something I've been harping on about in my commentaries. A few Protoss players have been really lazy with getting units surrounded at their third bases, just not leaving them on hold position or just leaving them out here and getting them surrounded when they're not looking. And, you know, a lot of high-level StarCraft players like risk mitigation. It's doing things that don't cost you anything other than a little bit of attention to mitigate risk. That's actually a big part of the game. Low-level players, it's I'm going to mitigate risk by building 3 Spore Crawlers and Spines behind my mineral line every game, just in case something appears. That costs you a lot. That's not the pro gamer risk mitigation I'm talking about. You always see people in chat when they see a game where harassment was really effective, they're like, why didn't he just build 3 cannons at each base? And you're like, well, he didn't know he was going to take that damage beforehand. Otherwise, he would have built 1. So far, 3 drones. That's not great damage. It's okay. He's ahead on workers because of the early game. He's still getting decent damage. +1s on the way. I think ASTREA's doing okay. But Zola's quite good at recovering from these sort of botched early games with the gold base getting cancelled. Spreading creep, droning, +1 melee. And I think Solar should have a priority of getting a fast 4th hatchery up if he's going to play this sort of style. Unfortunately for him, he's playing +1 melee against charge. So if ASTREA can warp in another Stalker or 2 just to try and convince Solar that it's Blink and then surprise him with Charge Archon, I think that could be really effective. But if Solar sniffs out what he's doing, Solar can either pivot into Mutalisks or into Swarmhost Nidus. Both are very good against a player who skips Blink and goes straight for that charge. Oh, 2 drones. Oh, that Oracle just came in on the left. Sorry, guys. I was like, where are these drones dying? I missed that Oracle on that left side. Gets 2 on the right as well. I like that. Darts in on the left, darts in on the right. Not able to get a 4th hatchery down just yet. Lings are going to go across the map, but the Adepts see it. Should be very prepared. No Stalkers warping in, though. Like I said, yeah, he's not committed enough to actually sell the story. He's not even trying to sell the story. I love it if you sell the story here, but I guess this is more of a macro style. So Solar now realizes, oh, this is actually this style. Oh! Unit's not on hold position. We were talking about it just before, but he's going to lose a probe and a sentry, and these zealots will go down as well if he's not careful. Where are those oracles? They're coming home now, which is good. Zealots are happy to kind of bait the Zerglings in. Oh, did he just turn on all? No, he turns on 1 oracle, knowing that the moment the Lings see oracle lasers, they're always going to run away. That Adept goes down as well. ASTREA getting a little sloppy now. He had a great start, but now he's got 4 pylons building, so at least he's not supply blocked anymore. But that 4th base just got delayed by like a full minute, and he's still not moving out to take it. And he's just kind of chilling. He's making Archon Zealot right now. +2 attack does start. I mean, it's a very well-timed +2. The Prism there is great, because now there's no risk. You can always just save those units into the Warp Prism. Oracles come in. Ignore the Queen. Just go for the drones. Yeah, 2, 3 drones would be great. There's one right there, bro. Oh, as if not grab it and lose an Oracle. That's sloppy. Oh, luckily the Queen injected. Didn't get the last hit on the Oracle. Immortals are building, but only out of single robo. 4th base finally builds on that right side. It's 8 gate and Immortal production, but no Psystorm just yet up against Ravagerling Bane. Immortal Archon can defend Ravagerling Bane, but if you do plan on going Storm, the earlier you go for it, usually, the better. 4 Archons are out, as well as a bunch of Zealots. Solar's worker count's very low. Solar's going... Is he going all in? I think we'll see Baneling speed and +2 melee start up in a moment. And I think, honestly, is he just he's not droning. Is he just doing a Roach Ravager Zergling all in? Like, he's not droning at all. Guys, the thing is, Baneling speed is still a minute away. But he's already stopping at 66 workers. And ASTREA sees that with his drop. Now, if ASTREA was paying attention and noticed the lack of workers, he should be able to just go, oh, you're not droning. Okay, I am in a really good spot here. I just need to survive. Build cannons, build batteries, spread me Archon Immortal out across my bases, and build a bit of reinforcements here in the natural as well. Yeah, like a cannon and a battery would be good, but also a backup pylon or 2, like a pylon there and a pylon there, because this pylon right now is powering way too much of your infrastructure. Here comes the Roachling Bane all in, and I kind of like that ASTREA... Oh, actually, guys, he doesn't have a lot of... Oracle energy, which I don't like. Oh no, and the Zergling already setting off one stasis trap. Archon Immortal Zealot comes forward. I like this move forward. He's trying to like bait the roaches and the banes clumped up kind of into the stasis traps, which is awesome move. Moves forward, gets a few good shots off. Oh, I think he sees the stasis trap. That Archon needs to rotate though. Solar gets a free Archon pick. Look at that. Sends a few roaches in. He's happy to sacrifice a few units to the stasis trap. Remember, there's no storm. There's no splash damage here other than the Archons. It's just mass Archon Immortal Zealot. I'd love to see Zealots counterattacking if possible. They're not that useful in these fights. So if the Zealots can just go around the left side or pull way back, that'll be great. There's a lot of cannon battery here, but his Immortal on the left is exposed. And this is what I was talking about. That left side needs reinforcement. He's only got one cannon there. He does have more Immortals building. He needs to rotate Archons up to the left. He's got to rotate his Archons towards the Banes and his Zealots towards the Roaches. Get those Zealots out of there, bro. Oh, Solar going for the Zealots. Will he find them? Battery overcharge comes in. A few Zealots charge in and actually take a good trade because it was only a few Zealots at a time. Solar cannot break through. Really good hold with the Zealots spreading out the Immortal Archon battery cannon D. And Solar throws the brick at his face. ASTREA pirouettes and pushes Solar down on his face. All right, guys, taking a break from banning Viewbot selling websites posting in my chat to actually cast the game. ASTREA in the right side. He went to block the expansion, but Solar's gone for a 14 hatchery. So he delayed building drones. So you see now he's building all of his drones after that. So he's sacrificed a bit of minerals, but this means the probe of ASTREA isn't able to do quite as much. So fantastic opening for Solar on Ghost River. Make sure as he gets the natural up. Now, obviously, ASTREA defended well. Mass Immortal Archon seemed to have a really good read. I like that he kept up the pressure. And remember, when you're playing against a Zerg, it's all about scouting the Zerg's newest base. If you see no drones on a 4th base, you've got a 4th up as Protoss. That means you're ahead on income, especially if you've probed that 4th at all. And as your main and natural mine out, you'll fully saturate it. If the Zerg is meant to be ahead on workers than you. If they're just building Roaches, Lings, Banes, very basic army, you're making Immortals and Archons, so it's a slightly higher tech army. You've got +2 very early, so you've got better upgrades, higher tier army, and you're actually making better use of your 4th base than them by having workers on it, and they've only got like 3 or 4 drones. ASTREA knew, oh god, I'm way ahead the longer this game goes. I just need to survive. I don't need to make Storm, Disruptors, anything. I just need to make cannons, batteries, units, spread them out, try to use the stasis traps to slow down this push, and really back myself up slowly, calmly, and just reinforce. And he shut the push down. A maxed out Roach Queen push really falters against an Immortal Archon style. I think Solar was hoping to get him halfway on the way to Storm, taking 8 gases, and being a bit too fancy. Because on paper, I don't think a maxed out Roach Queen, kind of Queen Walk, Ravagerling Bane is particularly good against like an Immortal Archon opening. It can work, but it falls off very quickly. As the Archon count grows and tacking into batteries and pre-spreads and stuff gets really awkward. You just don't have that much consistent damage. Because it's like, what does damage in your army? A few Roaches, a few Ravagers, some Zerglings are coming from behind, not all that much else. Why did Solar give up at the end? Basically, his Banelings killed a few Zealots and a shield battery on the top. On the bottom, he wasn't getting through there. He just saw that because this was such an line. Remember, I pointed out he stopped droning so early at 65 workers. He needed to kill ASTREA there. Or at least, he could. If he killed the whole army and a bunch of probes, he might have been able to transition. But he needed to, like, crush that fight. And the start of the fight, just, like, all of his Banelings killed a couple of things. And all the Immortals and Archons were just ripping him to shreds. And he just knew, like, this is not working. I'm hitting too late. ASTREA's opening, canceling my gold base was a bit too good. Like, he just kind of... He already knew that it wasn't going to work. I would have liked him to stay in a bit longer and fight it out. Let us see for the next 10 seconds how bad it would have gone for him. But I'm pretty sure... I'm quite confident from my knowledge of the game that he's correct in knowing that he was probably done for there. Now, double adept pressure for ASTREA. He does see the Zerglings, and a good choice, I think, to cancel that shade. It is a Stargate into Twilight Council opening, guys. So Oracle into Quick Twilight. Looks like a Glaives follow-up to Stargate. I like this opening. I don't like him opening straight Twilight, really, against Solar. I think that's an advantage for Solar. But look at that, guys. The Creep Tumor on the right actually dodged the Revelation. Very cute maneuver there. It's the Oracle hanging out at the front. There is a Spore in the natural. No Spore in the main, but he's got 2 Queens there. Oracle darts forward. And that Creep Tumor, that's a new one there. That one can spread to the right. Solar with a good setup, dude. Oh, it's a Blink. Blink. Oh, into fake third. He's doing a Blink all in. Okay, guys, so ASTREA's going to do an Oracle Blink all in. It's really important he keeps the creep back because creep is so powerful against Blink all-ins. But especially pushing up this ramp, yeah, dude, I've suffered against some Blink attacks on this map. It can be quite scary. Stalkers do come out of the wall. Oracle going to turn on its laser. Stalker's trying to shuffle away. He's going to lose one of them. But you know what? You killed 6 Zerglings. Yeah, it's a positive trade for Solar, but it's not too bad for you. It's like, okay, we did some stuff. Now, the problem is he's only got 1 Oracle, and he might be losing the next one. He's still warping in Stalkers. Guys, why is he... Oh, man, he's really showing his hand. What I don't like about what ASTREA is doing here is he's doing a sneaky all-in that is no longer sneaky. You've shown you're making 1 billion Stalkers. I mean, he knows exactly what's happening, and I think you kind of need to macro out of this as ASTREA. Yeah, I don't think you can do this as an all-in anymore, and maybe he was never planning it as an all-in. I assumed this was an all-in, but I think maybe it's just a faster than earlier blink pressure where he's looking to get a bit of tempo. Leaving no units at the 3rd is a problem. Oh, that's a problem. Blink is not quite done. Stalker's on the front going for an overload. Oh, this is a disaster. Those Lings distract him. He should have just left 1 Adept or Stalker there in a choke point. It would have done very well. The Oracle's going to die. Oh my gosh. The Oracle, it's still got energy, but no, he's already turned off the laser. Stalkers are there. Adept shade in. They kill only 2 drones for 2 Adepts. He didn't lose any probes, but he lost his shield battery. I think it was still building at the time, but it's 100 minerals. Units lost tab is slightly ahead for Solar, and slightly ahead can become very ahead in the long run of this game. He's going to try and stack the probes up. A couple of units do warp in there. Those probes taking big losses. Stalkers are going to start to fight. Does some blink micro, but dude, Solar's ravaging him. He's having his way with ASTREA right now. ASTREA went for a very tricksy opening, and it has not quite worked out. Solar looking to take a massive lead now. 6 more workers coming out. He's going to be up to 66 against 55, and this was all about pinning his opponent back with a surprisingly fast blink, but Solar scouted it too early, and I really feel this is... ASTREA's just given too much information. He should have been warping in a few more Adepts to disguise what he was up to, even though it weakens the blink pressure. I think ASTREA was actually a bit too inflexible, surprisingly, whereas normally such a flexible kind of adjusts to the situation. He was a bit too obvious with what he was doing. Now, could he fight back from here? Yes, but he's doing it from behind. Solar's got 35 Lings on the map, 7 Queens. Melee's almost finished, so he'll go probably a +2 melee Ravagerling Bane timing would make sense. He's already making 14 Roaches. I mean, he might just go with Roach Ravagers, Zergling even. Templar Archives is on the way, as well as 3 more gateways, so it's going to be a 7-gate Stalker Storm style. There's nothing guarding the 4th base. The Oracle is the only... Oh my gosh, the only scouting and vision he has. He does see Roaches coming, so he knows he's got to kind of just try and survive right now, but goodbye 4th base attempt. Lings are like, ooh, freebie. Get a probe, get a pylon. That trading for Solar is going from good to awesome. +1 attack has finished. I wouldn't mind +1 armor, but yeah, +2 is probably the way to go. He doesn't seem to feel like he has the room to get up to Storm. He's probably correct on that. I mean, a Void Ray would be nice, but he's going Oracle. Stalker's got to be careful to not get swarmed. It's mass Roach Ravagerling Bane, guys. The Banelings are all morphing down south. He's trying to move out to think about taking a 4th, but that is a giant Zerg army. The Lings are swarming. If they can wrap around any of these Stalkers, that'll be a problem for him. And 1 Stalker goes down before Blink gets ready. Good blink backs on the other guys, but is it going to be enough? I very much doubt it. He's just so low on numbers. Banelings are literally morphing in his face right now. Banelings coming from the south side. Baneling speed is not quite done, but that means the battery will go down. There is still battery overcharge available. He can do that in the one in the back, which is actually really good. These Stalkers need to be blinking into the mineral line now. Dude, perfect defense for ASTREA so far. I just don't know if perfect's enough when you're this far behind. This is such a crisp timing from Solar. These Stalkers on the bottom aren't in battery range either. Stalkers hanging on for now. ASTREA with a very clutch hold. That was huge. He's now 600 resources ahead in the units lost. I think the next wave could kill him. Solar, like I said, is not one for playing technical, slow, smooth games. He is one for killing his opponent. He is one to chop their head off when he's ahead, and that's what he's doing now. There is a Void Ray at 4th base and a Robo. ASTREA needs to just prepare for the next wave. The Oracle's going to go scout the 4th. He'll see some drones on it, but seeing not that many drones should tell him there's another attack. I think seeing this army move out already tells him what he needs to know. He's trying to repower the cannon, build some more batteries as well. Oracle does tag this, which is actually quite nice. The Void Ray could definitely slow things down a little, but the Queens will just walk across the map. So the Void Ray can only slow things down so much. Gonna try and pick off a Roach there. Queens, he should go south with this Void Ray. This Void Ray can just hang down here. Yeah. Gotta be getting more damage out of this Void Ray. All it's doing is killing 1 or 2 Zerglings here. It's got to be using this on the south side to clean up that flank, man. Void Ray will get down there now, but how do you defend? My God, here we go. Here we go. Baneling's coming in. Banelings are going to take out the front batteries. There are more batteries in the back. Battery overcharge once again protected in the mineral line, being guarded there very nicely. But the Banelings slip through, get a few probes. They don't break it. Dude, this might be an overextension. The Queens are trying to back away. He's going to try and focus this base, but I think that might cost him too much. The Stalkers wisely go after the Roaches. Astrea's like, look, I'm going to lose the base no matter what, but I can kill all of this. And that's a huge, huge mistake. Has Solar been too aggressive in this game? I mean, attacking, there's always a chance your opponent defends perfectly, and Solar, I told you guys, he loves to just pick up a brick and smash it into his opponent's face in this matchup. He's doing it again. Now, the thing is, ASTREA's going for a counterattack, which I don't think he needs to do. I think he can take a fourth, probe up, keep playing the slow game. He's going to go for the counterattack, which is not necessarily his best move. His third's wide open as well. Oh, this Ling run by is going to cause him problems. He's making High Templar and Storm at home. He might be overthinking things. I feel like he's in such a good spot, but he's been on the defense for so long. He doesn't have context. He doesn't know where his opponent's income is, and he's going to have to cancel that. Fourth! It dies! ASTREA, that's a 400 mineral slip up. These sort of maneuvers cannot be afforded. He restarts it now, but look, Solar's got a good income advantage with his fourth up. He desperately needs a fifth. And if he does take a fifth and start droning, that'll be great. But this base is going to start mining out, guys. 90 minerals, 50 minerals, 95 minerals. These workers are about to run out of places to mine from. So having a fifth base would really allow him to keep that income going, even though he's only on 68 workers, which is what he's going to do. +2 melee has finally started. +1 melee and +1 range has been done the whole time. Lings are going to get cleaned up in the south. Ooh, no pullback for Solar, a little sloppy. But ASTREA desperately needs to get back up north. Void Ray is there, so pushing in's kind of risky. Psystorm will be done soon. Those Lings could get ruined by those Stalkers that are up there. Void Ray's exposed, though. I think the Void Ray goes down while he's busy defending the natural. Oh, he pulls it back. Stalkers trying to take out the Lings. Oh, he control-click blinked and accidentally blinked all of his Stalkers out, including the one in the wall. That's a mistake. That's such a silly basic mistake, but it's going to cost him big time. Lingbane in the main. He warps in Zealots in the main. This opens up his fourth base to go down. ASTREA with a bit of a fumble. He finds himself ahead, but the Banelings do get stormed to death, as do the Lings on the left side. 17 probes have gone down there. ASTREA needs to hold that probe key down. Solar was so all in this whole time that ASTREA can absolutely bounce back into it, but he needs to hold the probe key down right now. If we don't see probes in that production tab and chronos on those, he might just be dead. Now, don't get me wrong. He's still got a big army. He could counterattack. It might work. Hive, Lurker Den, drones. Solar's being very greedy, but ASTREA has just never defended this bottom right side. And that's the big problem. He needs to send a pack of Zealots down there or something to clear that up as he moves out across this map. He's defending, but he's not probing right now. Uh-oh. I think ASTREA is kind of all in on a defensive maneuver right now. He's basically saying, I'm going to defend, and I'm going to have to kill you. As long as I kill you pre-lurker, I'm going to have a giant army because I'm not reprobing. But now he starts reprobing. It's just so late. Feels to me like Solar has the mental advantage by being the aggressor. ASTREA has very limited information. There's creep everywhere. Every time he counterattacks, all he does is clear a little creep and then pull away. Solar may never have the income advantage, but he's always got the map control. He's got the info. He's got forward positions as well. 2 Storms probably not necessary there. 1 would have done, but he does push back the Zerglings in the south. 7 High Templar, 29 Stalkers, 3 Archons, and an Immortal. It's a great army for ASTREA right now, but you guys know what the problem is. That Lurker Den's finishing. Once 10 Lurkers are out, it feels like this game shifts massively into Solar's favor. Unless ASTREA goes for a second Robo, gets these 8 gases, and probes up like mad, which so far he has not shown an indication of wanting to do. Oh, good Storms. He's going to have to pull this army away, though. The Roach Ravager could probably take this down. Oh, careful, ASTREA. Decent Storm. Not amazing. Second one's decent, but he's not recalling. Which means, yeah, he's going to lose a bunch of units. Archon will go down. Stalkers get out of there. And High Templar goes down as well. I love the Void Ray down here. Void Ray is sick. But he loses a bunch of valuable units. Remember, he doesn't have the money to afford such moves. But the Void Ray, so far up to 15 kills. I think the Void Ray has been a really useful piece of just defensive map control here. When a Zerg's kind of over-committing to aggression, it's very nice to do that sort of stuff. Stalkers blink forward. Storms do really well. First, Lurkers are out, guys. There's 9 Lurkers out, 4 more building. Solar is back in the lead after denying this 4th base so many times. Okay, so ASTREA is going to try and take a 5th and go air from now. He definitely can get back in it, but on 1 Robo, I think he dies to the Lurkers before the air transition's complete. He's going for 1 extra gateway, so he's only now about to get to 8 gateways. That tells you how bad ASTREA's production's been, how on the back foot he's been from the early game. His blink opening got botched. It put him behind. He's fought back like a beast from that position. For anyone, you know... Oh, no! South side! High Templar intercepted 3. High Templar with Storms get taken down. And ASTREA's not even... he didn't even notice, I don't think. Oh my gosh, he loses an Archon or two on the front as well. These guys could do a good counterattack on one of these bases, but it's these Linger Unbuys that have been ruining ASTREA entire series long. His army here, he needs to warp in more High Templar. He's got 4 High Templar, but they're all with his main army. None in the south anymore. He doesn't have any many units at the defense either. That Immortal can come out with Battery Overcharge and a few Zealot Warpins. Could be okay. Over on that left side, these guys clear a bit of creep before pulling back. Okay, looks like he should be all right with the battery healing. I think Stalker's in the natural wall off. The whole army's getting pulled back, though. This allows the Lurkers to push. This is the scariest part. I like this move for ASTREA. He's breaking the rocks, but at the same time... oh, the Zealot Warpin does trap the Roaches. A few Lings do manage to squeeze through, though. And he will eventually clean it up without too many probe losses. ASTREA is right now 4,000 resources ahead in the units lost. That's mostly from those first 2 amazing holds he had. But after that point, his income's been so much lower. He needs to trade so much better than Solar to win this game. Solar is starting to bank resources. Meanwhile, Lurkers on the north do get chased down, loses at least 2 of those. I think that's only 2 Lurkers. 3 Lurkers have gone down this game. A Warp Prism on the north sneaking through would be great, but it looks... actually, that must have just died. There's a dead Prism and 5 Queens and a Spore there. 100% a Warp Prism died there. He must have seen it coming. Great move for Solar. Realizing a Prism on the north is always scary on this map. Storm could be good. I like that Storm all over the Hydras and Lurkers. Real nice Storm. Yeah, he loses the High Templar, but it does good damage. Lurkers in the south getting absolutely wrecked. Man, ASTREA's split army control's been really good. He's still only on single no, he's on double Robo now. He's got triple Robo, in fact. Oh, he lost the Robo in the natural, did he? I thought he had a Robo in the natural. Might have. Oracle's going to go down to the Hydras. That's unfortunate, guys. He doesn't have a lot of detection. Losing the Oracle is incredibly costly. Letting these probes into his natural once again. There's a bit too much chaos. You can tell ASTREA's reeling just from the amount of pressure that's being put on him here. And look at that, depowering these. He needs to repower the Stargate especially. Archon finally cleans up those Hydras. But in the south, here comes the big Lurker push. To be fair, there's no support. If it gets hit by a good flank from both sides, this could be a problem. But the Robos are at the third again. Robos at the third are exposed. They're both going to go down, and that's a big problem. Great flank for ASTREA, but look, Lurkers come in from the left as well, as do Hydras. His army sandwiches the Lurkers. He's going to have to go for a counter all in, though. He doesn't have any detection, losing that Oracle. Oh, no, he doesn't have the detection to finish off those Lurkers. Oh, no, 26 probes go down, and with no detection, the depower on the Stargate was huge. I think this game really shows the power of having the aggressive stance. Solar barely droned up after his first attacks this game. He never took any drone losses, but he kept spreading creep, and he kept attacking different areas and sliding run-bys in and backstabs and surrounds and always bypassing ASTREA. And he had all the information to do that because he was so offensive, whereas ASTREA is kind of like, I have no idea what's happening. I don't see anything on this map from start to finish every single time. I'm just reeling, you know? I'm desperately trying to catch up. I'm on the back foot. Another cannon goes down that's building as well as the one that's already done. And that's going to be a problem because these are +2 melee Adrenal Gland Zerglings, so they're going to kill every probe. ASTREA trying to do like a Storm all-in, but what? A few Archons and Immortal, a few Stalkers. Solar has played an excellent game. His early aggression did not work out. ASTREA showed some fantastic holds. One could argue that Solar was too overeager with his early aggression. Since he had such a good lead, he could have slowed the play down. But I love the way he brought it back after the first attacks did not work out. I feel like he's done such a good job with his mobility, his positioning, frustrating and annoying ASTREA and catching him out of position over and over again. Solar's only down 3,000 resources, the units lost, which tells you the last few minutes, things have gone very badly for ASTREA because Solar's got so much more money. I remember ASTREA needed to trade hugely positively, but he had a 4,000 resource lost advantage. The fact that gap has diminished means over the last few minutes, Solar has been out trading ASTREA. And when you're down a couple bases, 6 base Zerg against 4 base Protoss, that's going to be a problem. All right, Storms on the Hydras. We've got Lings, Lurkers, and Hydras hanging out and having a good old time there. Mothership is going to have to pull back. Cloak tries to come in. If he gets rid of the Overseer, he can maybe get some units out, but Solar micros it around. Ling, Lurker, Hydra in the south as well. Dude, this was a really fun style. I miss games like this. We don't see many styles like this from Zerg vs. Protoss anymore, and I really feel this is like peak CVP for entertainment value. Lots of movement, multiple armies spread around the map trying to catch each other out of position and do all this stuff, but this is going to be a nice win for Solar. He got tested. He had to work hard for it. But by golly, did he do well. 615 APM average. Did Solar get one of those special customized European keyboards, I wonder? There's a guy, a StarCraft fan, who's making custom keyboards, and a lot of the Zergs have started using it. I don't know if any of the other non-Zergs have started using it. A lot of the European Zergs using it. It allows you to have different repeat rates for different buttons. So you can kind of like, yo, when I build Zerglings, I want it to just instantly queue up 1,000 Zerglings, right? I want it to have a crazy repeat rate. But when I do other things like rapid fire spells, I only want it to cost 10 times a second or 100 times a second or whatever the thing is, right? So they're kind of using that. That does artificially inflate your APM a bit whenever you are rapid firing creep tumors or building units or anything like that. Lurker Hydra tries to move in. ASTREA is going to have to tap out. Solar fighting back from behind. That was a legendary series. GG. Well played.